There's a hidden flaw in the way we all think. It's this tiny little glitch that affects everyone, from students at the best universities to judges making life-altering decisions. And it explains why our brains so often prefer a simple, easy lie to a slightly more complicated truth. Let's start with a quick puzzle that's going to reveal just how deep this glitch really goes. Okay, take a second and just listen to your gut. A number probably just popped right into your head, almost instantly, without you even really trying. Just hold on to that first answer. Don't second-guess it. Just notice what your brain served up on a platter. If that number was 10 cents, well, you are in very, very good company. It just feels right, doesn't it? It's simple, it's clean, it seems obvious. It's the answer that just leaps out at you. But, and you probably saw this coming, that intuitive, appealing, and totally obvious answer is completely wrong. And the fact that it's so tempting is exactly what we're here to talk about. So if it's not 10 cents, what is it? The correct answer is actually 5 cents. Let's just do the math real quick. If the ball is 5 cents and the bat costs $1 more than the ball, that makes the bat $1.05. And what's $1.05 plus 5 cents? It's $1.10. Simple, right? So here's the real question. Why do so many incredibly smart people get this wrong? The answer tells us something really profound about how our minds are wired. Let's start by digging into just how common this 10-cent mistake really is, because this isn't just some fun little brain teaser, it's basically a diagnostic tool for a fundamental feature of how we think. Okay, get this. When researchers gave this puzzle to students at Harvard, MIT, and Princeton, more than half of them got it wrong. At other universities, the number of wrong answers shot up to over 80%. So this clearly isn't about a lack of intelligence. It's about a failure to just double-check our own intuition. So what's really going on here? What's behind this massive mental shortcut? Well, it's a part of our thinking process that we can call the controller. And despite its super important job, it can be unbelievably lazy. Here's the deal. Your brain operates with two systems. System 1 is your gut reaction. It's fast, it's automatic, it's intuitive. It's the part of your brain that screamed 10 cents at you. System 2 is the controller. It's slow, deliberate, and it takes real effort. Its job is to check the work of System 1. But, as we've already seen, it often just can't be bothered.
And why can't it be bothered? It all comes down to something called the law of least effort. Deep thinking, really engaging System 2, it feels like work, because it is work. It's a mental sprint. Letting System 1 run the show is more like a casual stroll. Our brains are hardwired to save energy, so they will avoid that difficult cognitive work whenever they think they can get away with it.
So, what happens when that lazy controller is already tired, or distracted, or just busy with something else? This is when the consequences of our mental shortcuts start to get very, very real.
The concept is called ego depletion. The easiest way to think about it is that your self-control and your ability for deep thought are pulling from the exact same limited pool of mental energy. Every time you exert willpower or do a tough mental task, you're draining that pool, leaving less gas in the tank for the next challenge. It's literally like a muscle that gets tired after a workout.
And the crazy thing is, we're draining this resource all day long without even noticing. Resisting those cookies in the break room, that costs you. Forcing a smile during a tense meeting, that's a withdrawal from the mental bank. Trying to impress a new colleague, or even just making a bunch of hard choices. All of these things are wearing out your System 2 controller.
And the research on this is crystal clear. When your System 2 is busy or just worn out, your impulsive System 1 has way more influence. In some studies, people who are mentally tasked by something simple like trying to memorize a string of numbers were way more likely to choose a tempting piece of chocolate cake over a healthy fruit salad. Their controller was just too tired to say no.
But the stakes can be so much higher than just dessert. A truly stunning study of Israeli parole judges found a really disturbing pattern. Right after a food break, like lunch, the judges approved parole about 65% of the time. But as the hours wore on and they got more and more mentally tired, that approval rate steadily dropped, all the way down to nearly zero. The depleted judges just defaulted to the easiest, safest decision: denial.
This tendency to just fall back on the easy answer isn't just about a single bad decision. It's a whole pattern of thinking that can carry a really significant price over the course of a lifetime.
This connects directly to the famous marshmallow test. You know this one. 4-year-olds are given a choice. You can have 1 marshmallow right now, or if you can wait 15 minutes, you can have 2. Years later, researchers followed up. The kids who had been able to resist temptation, the ones who engaged their System 2 to control that System 1 impulse, had much higher measures of executive control and even scored substantially higher on intelligence tests as young adults.
In fact, that bat and ball problem we started with, it's part of a bigger test called the cognitive reflection test. And the research consistently shows that people who score low on it, the people who consistently go with that first easy answer, are also more impulsive and impatient in other areas of their lives. They're even willing to pay twice as much for overnight shipping just to prioritize that immediate gratification over a better long-term deal.
This all leads to a really crucial distinction. We know that students at MIT and Princeton are smart, so why do they get this wrong? It's because being intelligent isn't the same thing as being rational.
Researcher Keith Stanovich explains it perfectly. He says intelligence is like your brain's raw computing power. It's algorithmic mind. It's what you measure with an IQ test. But rationality, that's the reflective mind. It's the willingness to actually engage that computing power, to check your gut feelings, and to override lazy thinking. You can have a brilliant mind, but if you fail to be rational, it's because you never use it to question your own intuitions.
So getting the bat and ball problem wrong isn't a failure of intelligence. It's a failure of rationality. It's a sign that our reflective mind didn't engage, that our lazy controller just took the day off. And avoiding these mental traps isn't automatic. It's a skill. It's a skill that has to be actively practiced.
And that leaves us with a final question for you to think about. Consider your own day. When you're tired, when you're hungry, or just overwhelmed. In those moments, when you fall back on the easy answer or you make that impulsive choice, is it really you making the decision? Or have you just handed the keys over to your lazy controller?